Good morning, students. Welcome to Renville Coaching Classes. I am Sir Renville, Head of RCC, BSc Zoology. Today we are going to do life processes. So to be specific, this is a course under biology, and biology is under science. So I am going to be teaching you science for the year. Okay. So let's start. The topic we are going to cover today is nutrition in human beings. Nutrition is the way by which humans take in food, and that can also be called digestion. In this topic, you will be learning about the different parts and functions of the alimentary canal. We will also be learning the activities of different enzymes. The parts of the alimentary canal. What do you mean by the alimentary canal? The alimentary canal is a long tube extending from the mouth to the anus. There are different parts there of the alimentary canal. We have the mouth first, esophagus, stomach, pancreas, liver, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. First, we are going to talk about the mouth in detail. Now, the mouth is also called the buccal cavity. The mouth has three major and very important parts. First is the teeth. Teeth make food into tiny particles of the same size and texture. They do this by crushing the food. Next is the saliva. Your esophagus is very soft and your food needs to be wetted for the food to pass. So this is done by the saliva. Saliva wets the food. Saliva is secreted by the salivary glands. The saliva contains biological catalyst called enzymes. Biological catalyst means anything which speeds up the reaction. If a reaction is very slow, it is speeded up with the help of enzymes. Now, to be specific, in the saliva, we have the enzyme salivary amylase, okay, or salivary amylase, which breaks down complex molecules, means big molecules, into simple sugars. Your food needs to be mixed with the saliva. Therefore, we have your muscular tongue, which mixes the food with the saliva while chewing. You can see the different parts there. We have the teeth, we have the tongue. You can see the pomegranate shaped glands there. Those are your salivary glands which secrete saliva, and saliva contains enzyme salivary amylase. Then we have the esophagus. From the mouth, the food is taken to the stomach through the food pipe or esophagus. The lining of the esophagus has muscles that contract rhythmically in order to push the food forward. This is called peristalsis. You can see that yellow color thing there, that is food, and it is pushed by those walls of the esophagus. The food needs to be pushed to the stomach, and that movement or that process there of pushing the food to the stomach is called peristalsis. It occurs all along the gut. It can occur in the small intestine, large intestine, and so on and so forth. Next, we have the important organ called the stomach. The stomach is a large organ which expands when food enters it. The muscular walls of the stomach help in mixing the food thoroughly with more digestive juices. The digestion function are taken care by the gastric glands present in the wall of the stomach. The gastric glands are hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and mucus. These are the three things you need to remember very thoroughly. Gastric glands are hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and mucus. Please study it thoroughly. Hydrochloric acid creates an acidic medium which facilitates the action of enzyme pepsin, which means if the food is not made acidic, then enzyme pepsin will not work. Therefore, a hydrochloric acid makes the food acidic. Now, what is pepsin? Pepsin is an enzyme which will be digesting protein. We have mucus here. Mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach from the action of hydrochloric acid under normal conditions. So mucus is a protection layer. Because of mucus, our stomach is not burnt. Now, food leaves the stomach from the sphincter muscle. You can have a view of the diagrammatic representation there. That yellow color thing there is your hydrochloric acid. The layers there are the inner lining of the stomach and the mucus layer. Can you see the layer at the end of the hydrochloric acid there? That is your sphincter muscle, which will open when food needs to go to the small intestine. Next, we have the small intestine. The food enters the small intestine from the stomach. The small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal, which is fitted into a compact space because of extensive coiling. So you can see that the small intestine is coiled there in the diagram. The length of the small intestine differs in various animals depending on the food they eat. So if you eat plants, or if you're a vegetarian, your small intestine size will vary. If you're a meat eater, then it will vary. So who has a longer small intestine, a cow or a tiger? The answer is cow, because cow is a herbivore. It eats only grass, and grass contains cellulose, which is very difficult to digest. Whereas tiger is a carnivore. It has a short small intestine because it eats meat, and meat is very easier to digest. Can you see the diagrams there of the cow and the tiger? Tiger has a very small intestine, and cow has a very longer small intestine. Now the small intestine continuation. The small intestine is the site of complete digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Means all these carbohydrates, proteins and fats are completely digested here. This is the final place. Now, who helps to digest these carbohydrates, proteins and fats? It is the secretions of the liver. Okay, liver secretes bile juice, and the pancreas secretes pancreatic enzyme or pancreatic juice to digest those carbohydrates, proteins and fats. We will see the function of the bile juice. There are fats present in the small intestine in the form of large fat globules, which make it difficult for the enzyme to act on. Therefore, bile salt is a hero here, who breaks the fat globules and makes them into smaller globules to increase the efficiency of the enzyme, which will be secreted by the pancreas. Next follows is pancreas. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, which contain enzymes like trypsin and lipase. Trypsin digests proteins, and lipase breaks down emulsified fats. Okay, which is very important. Can you see the liver there? And can you see the leaf like structure over here, which is called the pancreas? Liver will secrete its secretion, that is bile juice, and it will be stored in that green color thing called the gallbladder. Can you see that diagram where the large fat globule is broken down into smaller ones? Yes. Who does it? The bile salt does it. Why? Because the pancreatic juices have to act on it. Next, we have the small intestine continuation. The small intestine contains glands which secrete intestinal juice. The enzyme present in that intestinal juice converts proteins into amino acid. Now, small intestine has something of its own. Okay, otherwise, it was depending on the secretions of the liver and the pancreas. Here, the small intestine secretes intestinal juice of its own. Okay, now that intestinal juice, what it does, it breaks down something, or it converts something to something. First, it converts proteins into basic amino acids. Now, what are amino acids? That you will learn in the next lecture. Amino acids are simple things. Okay, many amino acids make a protein. Remember that. Then it converts simple complex carbohydrates into simple glucose. I think you are aware of carbohydrates and glucose. It converts fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Moving on to the next thing, which is villi. The digested food is taken up by the walls of the intestine. The inner lining of the small intestine has numerous finger-like projections which are called villi. Villi increase the surface area for absorption. The villi are richly supplied by blood vessels, which take the absorbed food to each and every cell of the body. So villi have blood vessels, okay, The food after being digested will taken up by those blood vessels and being supplied to the entire body. Okay, that energy will be used up by the entire body, and villi will help to absorb that energy first of all. Okay, so villi is providing a space for absorption, remember that. The energy needed for building up new tissues and repair of old tissues. So that energy which is used up is for this process to build up new tissues and repair of old tissues. You can see villi there, these are villi. Now large intestine. The unabsorbed food is sent to the large intestine where more villi absorb water. Now here the villi which are present in the large intestine absorb water. So it's impossible for the food to be totally absorbed in the small intestine. So some unabsorbed food is sent to the large intestine, and over there those villi are there. They only absorb the water from that food and make the material dry. Okay. Now the rest of the material is removed from the body by the anus. Can you see that part there? Second picture, the last part, that is your anus. The exit of the waste material is regulated by the anal sphincter. So when you have the urge to go to the toilet, that anal sphincter will open, and when it's not necessary, it will close. Now the quiz time here. State the function of teeth. Name the longest part of the alimentary canal. What is peristalsis? Function of hydrochloric acid. What is pepsin? What are enzymes? What are villi? Difference between cow and tiger. What is the function of bile? Function of pancreatic juice. Function of intestinal juice. What are proteins converted into, carbohydrates converted into, fats converted into? What happens to the unabsorbed food? Where does the food exit the stomach? Where does it exit the large intestine? Thank you everyone. That was all for the lecture.